Elder Statesman back with the weekly rundown. So let's start with how the decks did. This week was a little bit of a rough week for the decks. Most of them did not perform very well. The Blue Tempo deck ended up going 5 and 6 this week. The Pinball Wizard deck also went 5 and 6 this week. My new deck, Somebody's Watching Me, that one actually went 7 and 6. That one did okay. So that one's definitely staying around. Between the Blue Suede Shoes and Pinball Wizards, I'm going to stick with the Blue Suede Shoes because it has a higher overall winning percentage. It's won 60% of its games versus Pinball Wizard, which has only won 49% of its games. So the Pinball Wizard is going to be dropping out. As for what decks I potentially might build to replace it, one of them is it Drake's. Similar style deck, but built around Crackling Drake and jump in the deck right here. Crackling Drake and Enigma Drake, as opposed to the Wizard package that my current deck had. This one's fairly close. It's mostly commons and uncommons, and that's going to be the key thing: is how many uncommon wild cards I get. The only rares I need is lands. So I can, make do with basic lands to replace that. But mainly I need like 6 or 7 uncommon wild cards, or to pull some of these. But definitely a good chance I could build this deck. I'm also still leaning towards the Mono Red Burn deck. I've got 5 common wild cards right now, so one more common wild card will get me the all the commons, and what I'm left with is an uncommon, which I'll get for sure, and then 7 rares that I need. The Rekindling Phoenix, I already have the Mythic wildcard for that. So what I'm looking at is 2 Steamkin, 3 Chain Whirlers, and 2 Experimental Frenzies. So out of these, I think the Steamkin is the most important, and I think the Experimental Frenzy is the second most. So if I can pull like 4 rare wild cards, I could potentially build this one and just try to find a substitute for the Chain Whirler. But I'd like to maybe try to get 7 rares. And then the third deck I was looking at for this week is an update to Blue Suede Shoes. So this is the version that Gabriel Nassif posted for Grand Prix Lily. Basically, what I'm missing is 2 Warkite Marauders. So, if I don't get enough rare wild cards to build the Mono Red deck, I could build this one and probably the Is It Drake's deck. Build those together. Big difference with this deck is it runs 4 ops to smooth out the draws. And, of course, a Warkite Marauder is very good. He's very hard to block because he'll just take away flying from whatever you try to block with. A little bit fewer counter spells, only 1 Essence Scatter instead of 2, only 2 Charter Course instead of 3, but extra dive downs to protect whatever you have the Curious Obsession on. And it's got a sleep, which that can be a game winner sometimes. So I figured I might want to update my version of the Blue Temple deck to this more current version. Since the it did go 5 and 6, the metagame might be changing against it. As far as the metagame, I was talking about this one in my earlier videos. I went and I did keep track of all the decks that I played against. So the top 3 decks I played against in the constructed events was the Mono Red Burn deck, that one I just showed you. That was number 1. That was 21% of the decks I faced. Next one was the Blue-Black Surveil Control deck. Essentially this style deck here, where you're trying to get maximum value from Disinformation Campaign. Use the Surveil package to just keep triggering this. And it's got a bunch of control cards. Vraska's Contempt, Ritual of Soot, Eldest Reborn, bunch of Discovery Dispersals, that sort of thing. This was a common one. This was 13%. And then the next most common was the Blue Tempo deck. That was 10% of that game. So those 3 decks basically made up almost half the decks I faced this week. One thing I've noticed is that the main difference between the single game events and the best of 3 events, where you can use the sideboard, is it kind of pushes out the mid-range decks. Generally, like a Golgari mid-range can become really good against aggro decks out of the sideboard, or become really good against control decks out of the sideboard, but main deck they're trying to be good against both. And so they don't fare quite as well in the single events. It basically comes down to pure control decks or pure aggro decks seem to be what's doing the best right now. Although you will see the Golgari mid-range decks. So as far as packs, I've got, I think, a dozen packs here. Yeah, got a dozen packs. Good mix of everything. Like I said, I keep buying the older packs because there's stuff I need out of these. So let's jump in. Let's see what we pull. And that's going to determine what deck we build for this week here. So we're looking for wild cards. Lots of wild cards. And we'll see if we get any specific cards we need for decks. Alright. Okay, that's good. Nothing here I really need. Herald of Streams. No, I mean, I've never used that in my Merfolk decks. I mean, it's playable, but... Oh, I forgot to mention, I did play the Mermaid Motel deck on my last constructed event, and what did I get? 2 wins. I went 2 and 3 with that. Still my top deck for winning percentage, and it's fun to play. So that'll most likely be the deck I play on day 7 again. Uncommon wild card, good. Need that. Rare wild card, that's awesome. Okay. Okay. No, nothing there. Rare card. That's no. Okay. Well, that pack was kind of a dud. Wild card, good. I've seen a deck that uses this. I think it's kind of hard to play on Arena though, because the game keeps trying to time you out. So ooh. I don't know if I have a place for it, but I'll always take a Planeswalker. You never know when those are going to turn out to be good. Yeah, I saw a 1,000-Year Storm deck that used it, but it was really hard to get the combo off because it kept trying to time you out. Okay. Another wild card there. Let's see. None of these cards are anything I need. Joda. Yeah. Let's see. Give me something good in my Dominaria pack. Something good. I mean, I like this card, but I don't know how many of them I actually need. Let's see here. Good rare. Well, that was kind of a dud as well. I don't really want either of those cards. No wild cards either. Okay. Of course that's going to be good to me. I got a good feeling. Uncommon wild card like that. Hellish Rejuvenator's good. I might already have 4 of those though. Prodigious Growth. Well, I don't really want that. My packs are not being kind right now. This is going to unlock another rare wild card though. There's a wild card there. That's good. I like the idea of Colossal Majesty, but I've never been able to get it to work yet in the deck. Isolate. This is really good in some older formats. Legacy and Vintage, it might be really good, but I don't think I really need it in Standard right now. Tormenting Voice, that's one of the cards I needed for the Is It Drake's deck. And wild card, good. Open the Graves. Got a couple of those already. Okay, so what am I looking for this? I'm looking for Crackling Drakes. I'm looking for Steamkins. I'm looking for experimental frenzies. I'm sure there's some other cards I wouldn't mind, but those are big ones right now. Molder Hulk's good. In the black-green deck. I'll take that. Chromatic Lantern's good. There's a number of decks using that. Okay. Got those. It's a decent card. I don't know how constructor worthy it is. Nope. Okay, give me good rare. That is a good rare. I like it. Watery Grave. Let's see. Deadweight's good. I don't know if I have 4 of those yet, so that could be a good pull. I do want some of these that has the marshals. Okay, rare. Guildmage just 4 them. Didn't really want that. Well, didn't really pull too much. Let's see, what do we get here? 4 uncommon, 3 rare, 1 mythic, and 9 common. Okay. So let's go back to the decks. Okay, how close were we? So, Izzet Drakes doesn't need... Well, it does need some rares, but I could use 2 rares on the Marauding Warkites for the other deck. We need uncommons. Those 4 uncommons are big. That uses my 4. So then what do we have here? Tormenting Voice, that's common. Okay, I've got that. Chart a Course. Lava Coil I'd be missing. I actually have one of these ops. So mainly I'd be able to get most stuff. I basically would be losing out on Beacon Bolt, Lava Coil, and a Chart a Course would be the 3 things I wouldn't be able to have for this if I wanted to make this deck. So, obviously, like Lava Coil and Beacon Bolt could probably be replaced with burn spells. Probably maybe Lightning Strike and Fight with Fire. This would be replaced with Fight with Fire. Chart a Course, I'm not sure what the best card to replace that with is. Some sort of card drawing, probably. I think this is doable. I think I can build this deck. And I think I can upgrade. Yeah, 3 rares just isn't enough to make that mono red deck yet. But I kind of want to play this, and I kind of want to upgrade the Blue Suede Shoes. So let's jump to that deck first. We'll upgrade that one. Okay, which ops do I like better? Oh, let's see here. I have 2 of this and only 1 of this, so I'm going to add 1 of these. Okay. Do 2 of each, and Warkite Marauders. Alright, so that deck is done. So we will most likely replace, well, we'll replace the new version, or replace the old version with the new version for the games this week. I'm going to still keep track of how this one did by comparison just to see. Make sure this one's actually getting a higher win percentage than the old version. Let's see here. And then we want to go to, is it Drake's? Okay, so this is most important here. Okay, and Enigma Drake. That leaves me with 1 rare and 8 commons. Okay, so add my 2 ops in. I think I can go with a Sulphur Falls. Like doing an even mix of both. That way I've still got a good chance of pulling these in packs. So we're going to add that one. Alright, so can we afford coming to play tapped lands? How many lands are we running? 2, 4, 6, 8. We're only running 21 lands, so I don't think we can afford coming to play tapped lands for this deck. Maybe we can afford 2 at the most. But we're going to want our lands off the top of the deck coming into play untapped. So we'll do 2... Two come into play tapped lands, and then an extra island and an extra mountain. I like that Guild Gate. Okay, and that just leaves these 3 cards here. So, I like the idea of a fight with fire. I mean, both these spells only can hit creatures. So it's not looking to be something to go to the face with. So definitely one there. That might make it a little too expensive if I add another... Well, wait, I don't have many 3-drops in this deck. What do I have? 5 3-drops? So I could afford to do a second fight with fire. Potentially. But let's see what else we got for 2 mana. Direct Current could maybe be good. Cats are going crazy behind me. Because of the jump start. That could maybe be a replacement. Let's see here. Oh, I should probably sort this by instant and sorcery only. So I kind of like Shivan Fire because it can deal 4 damage like the Lava Coil can. That's a possibility. Lightning Strike's just the main one. It can go to the face does almost as much. It's probably what I'm going to use is a little lightning strike. Although, depending on what we play against, we're going to have... If you're playing against Is It Drakes, you're going to need something that deals 4 damage to deal with the Crackling Drakes and the Enigma Drakes. And you're going to need something that deals 4 damage to deal with the Steamkins. So I changed my mind. I'm going to go with the second fight with fire. Alright, card draw. Just going to search for draw here. Divination, maybe. I could use the discovery side of Discovery Dispersal. Surveil 2, then draw a card. That's actually not too bad a replacement. Part of what the Chart of Course is there for is to get Arc-like Phoenixes into the graveyard, and Discovery can do that as well. So I think I might do that. We'll try that as a card draw. The other card draw doesn't really jump out at me that much. I've already got the Ops. Blink of an Eye would cost 4 to get the card draw. Divination's 3. There's no other cheap card draw I have. I mean, it's basically Opt, Radical ID, and Chart of Course. I'm already using all of those. So, we're going to go with this. And so the gauntlet for this week is going to be the Turbo Surveil deck. Somebody's watching me. The upgraded Blue Suede Shoes. And Is It Drakes. That's going to be the 3 decks for the week. I'm going to keeping track of the decks I play against so I can give you guys a metagame update for the decks you're going to be playing against. And we will be back tomorrow, or not tomorrow. We're going to be back on Monday, and we're going to start with the Is It Drakes deck, because that's the newest deck. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any other budget deck ideas that you think I should make. And we will see you on Monday.